Hi everyone! So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of Yves Rocher product. So for today, I am going to be using mostly my favorite item from Yves Rocher because I already tried most of their items, but I do have a couple of new things that I wanted to try today. So if you want to see my first impressions on these items, you can just keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos every single Mondays, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my makeup Mondays. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and let's get started with the makeup. Alright, so let's get started. So we are going to be starting by moisturizing our skin, and for that I'm going to try actually for the first time this line right here. This is the new line from Yves Rocher. It's called Sensitive Camomille, and this is supposed to be a very soothing moisturizer. So it's supposed to reduce redness and make your skin a little bit more comfortable. So this is a very lightweight texture, so it's really going to be fast absorbed by the skin. So I'm just going to take a little bit like this and let me put this on my skin as my base. Okay, so first of all, the scent, well, it doesn't have any fragrance in this lotion, so that's the reason why I bought it, because I do tend to have a lot of reaction whenever using lotions that has fragrance. So this one doesn't have any, and it doesn't really smell like anything. So far, I really like the feeling of this lotion on the skin. It's not really a gel. It does stay quite sticky and hydrating on the skin. I thought that it would absorb quite fast, but it stays really like sticky on my skin. So I think I'm really going to like this as a makeup base. And just a disclaimer right here, my lids are tinted pink at the moment because I made a makeup look this morning using pink eyeshadow, so that's why my lids are a little bit pink. So don't really mind my lids too much. But next, I think I'm going to jump into my eyes because I bought some eyeshadows. I'm not really sure if there's going to be fallout, so I'm going to start working on my eyes. To prime my eyes, they do have a eye primer, but I do enjoy using a concealer to prime my lids. So today I'm going to be using Cerne. This is a concealer that's supposed to be super high coverage and also has a very natural finish. This is the shade Rose 100. I believe this is their lightest shade, and I'm just going to tap a little bit of this on my lids. I'm going to use this as a primer, and I've been really liking this concealer. It does have very nice coverage. I did use this concealer before. I'm just going to tap this in using my finger. Next, I bought two eyeshadows. So I bought the shade 63, which is a matte purple shade, and I also bought the shade 62, which is a really nice shimmery purple shade. So as you can see, I really wanted to create a purple look for you today. These eyeshadow I actually never tried before. I never tried their matte formula on my eyes. I have tried their satin before on my eyes. I feel like the satin eyeshadow are a little bit not really long lasting. They are super pretty though. They're really intense. They're really pigmented, but I just feel like they're not as long lasting as other eyeshadow that I have. And I'm really curious to see if this matte eyeshadow will be long lasting and if it's going to be blending quite nicely. So I'm going to take the matte purple shade with a JH33 brush. It's picking up quite nicely on the brush. It does have a little bit of fallout in the pen. Let's do some tapping motions. I'm going to just do a quite classical eye look today. I'm not going to do something too crazy, just because I really want to test these eyeshadow out and see how they apply on the lids. So I'm just starting by doing some tapping motions. I'm going to put this purple shade all over the crease. I'm being quite generous with this, and it does have a lot of pigmentation. Let's see how this is going to blend. So I'm just going to start and do circular motions back and forth. All right. Hello. Okay, I'm not sure if you're going to see this, but I'm seeing a lot of patchiness. Maybe it's the concealer. Maybe the concealer is a little bit too hydrating, so it might be because of the concealer that I applied underneath. I'm going to try and pack this shade on and see where I can take it. The more I pack this shade on, the better it looks. I was kind of scared at first because it was looking extremely patchy, but so far this shade has a lot of payoff. You really just have to take your time and layer this shade on. I just feel like usually with a eyeshadow, I want something that's really going to layer quite nicely on the first application. There's a lot of payoff. but when you want to blend it, you have to be careful because you might remove all the pigment. I'm going to take a JH30 brush. I'm just going to go over these edges, make sure everything is blended. All right, I'm going to leave it like that, I think, because I'm just going to make it worse if I keep poking at it. Next, I'm going to take that lilac shade with my finger, and I'm going to tap this shade in on my mobile lid in this inner corner. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, yeah, this shade is so pretty. I wish I would have applied this shade all over my lid. Okay, I'm really impressed with the shimmer. The shimmer looks amazing. So next, I'm just going to take a cotton pad, and I'm going to be taking the Sensitive Camomille Eau Micellaire. This is the micellar water. I really like this micellar water for removing makeup. So I'm going to take that with a cotton pad, and I'm just going to clean the shape of my eyeshadow. Just making a straight line. I'm going to do the other eye off camera, and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back, and I'm really happy because for this eye, I actually primed with my trusty MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and the eyeshadow turned out to be so much easier to blend. So I think it's because I used this concealer, this Yves Rocher concealer, as a primer. So the eyeshadow didn't really stick on my lid as much. For this one, I'm really happy with the blend and the pigmentation. So next, we are going to be doing some foundation. I'm going to do my mascara, lashes, and everything after. So I'm going to be using today, I've been wanting to try this foundation for such a long time. This is the Zéro défaut confort foundation. I have the shade Rosé 100. And as you can see, this is brand new. I did not open this yet, so I'm going to open it up. So this is supposed to be a full coverage foundation with a lot of hydration. It comes in this container, so it comes kind of in a lotion container. I'd rather have a foundation in a pump because it's much more sanitary. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and let me dab this around my face. I hope the shade is going to be a good match. It looks good so far, and this foundation is thick. She's thick. So I'm going to take my Morphe M439 brush, and I'm just going to start and pack this into the skin. The texture on this is really dewy, it's really hydrating. And the coverage, I would say it's more of a medium coverage. It's not really full, but it is covering my imperfection, and it's also unifying my skin tone, so that's quite good. I don't really like full coverage foundation, just because I'd rather have some skin texture showing through so that everything looks a little bit more natural. So I do really enjoy this coverage. It's not too intense, and it's also blending like a dream. Yeah, so I really like this foundation. Actually, it looks really pretty on the skin. It gives a really nice satin finish to my skin. It's not totally dewy, but it does have a little bit of like luminosity to it. Ooh, okay, looking good. Next, I'm going to do my concealer. So I'm going to take the same anti-cerne concealer, and I'm going to take this under my eye. I'm also going to put this around my nose, my chin, and my forehead, just to give a little bit more coverage. And I'm going to blend this in with my concealer brush. And also, this concealer does oxidize a little bit, so make sure that you order a shade lighter because it is going to get one shade darker. Alright, so I am loving my complexion at the moment. I look freaking flawless, and the finish of the concealer with the foundation is super dewy. I love it so much. So yeah, these two products together are fully approved, especially this foundation. I wish this foundation was in a pump because it would be much more sanitary, but the formula on this is just amazing. I really love it. Next, I'm going to be setting my skin today just because I want to test most of these products out together. So I'm going to be using the loose powder from Yves Rocher. This is the shade Rosé Universel. So it's just their loose powder, and it's supposed to mattify your skin. It's supposed to also have a little bit of luminosity to it, so I'm really curious. I have tried this foundation before, but only for my under eye area. So today I kind of want to use this all over my face. So I'm going to take my powder brush. So let me take a little bit of this in the center of my face. I'm also going to put some on my under eye area just to set everything. So I do notice that my skin right now is looking a little bit darker than it was before. So it did make my complexion a little bit darker. So up close, my skin looks amazing. It looks really flawless. It looks perfect. It is matte. I don't really usually love a matte finish on my skin because I do feel like it looks like makeup. But this actually looks really natural on the skin. Usually loose powders are quite nice because they're not as pigmented and they're not as like opaque and thick as a compact powder. So if you want that very natural but matte look to the skin, you should definitely pick this one up because it really looks like airbrushed on my skin. Next, I need to warm up my complexion because I'm looking very ghostly. So I'm going to be using the bronzing powder. This is the shade hâle léger. It looks like this. It has a little mirror inside. It's really cute. And I'm going to take that with my Real Techniques blush brush. And I did use this bronzer before. I actually really like it. It smells so good. It smells like freaking summer. So I'm just going to pop this in the hollows of my cheek. I'm curious to see how this is actually going to layer on top of the foundation and the powder, because usually I use this bronzer on top of my bare skin, because usually on a everyday basis I only use concealer on my under eye area. So this powder I actually only use on my bare skin just to warm up my complexion. So I'm curious to see, because right now I'm seeing a little bit of patchiness with this bronzer on top of all this complexion product. So yes, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm also going to put some down my nose and down my neck because my face is looking a little bit darker. Okay, it did blend quite nicely. When I first applied it, I did see a little bit of patchiness, but the more I worked it into my skin, the more it looked natural and seamless. So yeah, this bronzing powder, I do really love it. Next, I'm going to be using some blush. I have the Yves Rocher blush in the shade 07. I love their blushes. They're so pretty, and this one has a little bit of a sheen to it. So it's going to give that really natural, subtle glow from within on the skin. And this shade is so pretty because it's kind of a coral, very light shade. So I'm going to pop this on my cheeks. Again, I only use this blush on my bare skin, so I'm curious to see how this is going to look on my cheeks, and it's looking good. I love this blush so much. I'm also going to run some on the top of my nose. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, I love this blush. All right, so another item that I love so much is their highlighter. This is amazing. It's such a beautiful highlight because it doesn't have any glitters, it doesn't have any shimmers. It just gives the most natural glow from within. I'm going to show you. I'm going to apply this pretty much mostly all over my face. So I'm going to start on the high points of my cheeks. And this is not a bright, blinding highlight, like I said. It gives a really subtle highlighted look to the skin, but it's so beautiful. It's so natural. And if you have more mature skin, you are going to love this because it's not going to enhance anything. It doesn't have any glitters. It's just so natural looking. Next, I'm just going to apply some brows because I need a little bit more structure on my skin. And I'm going to be using, it's tiny. I use this all the time. It's the most, it's the best. I love their brow products because they're really cheap and they work. So I'm going to take their brow pencil. I'm using right now the shade Blond, and I'm just going to fill in the areas of my brows that don't really have any hair. So for me, it's the front of the brow and also the tail. And I'm just going to comb everything through the brow, making sure everything is nicely blended. So now that my brows are filled in, I'm going to take the Yves Rocher mascara brow. This is the shade 03. It's actually the darkest they have. I should probably pick their lightest because it's a little bit dark for me, but I do like to give more texture to the brows using the darker shade. So I'm just going to comb my hairs up. I've been really enjoying a very messy look to my brows lately. I'm going to finish my under eye area, so I'm going to take the same purple shade. I'm going to take that with a JH40 brush. It's just a smaller blender brush, and I'm going to blend this all over my under eye. And because we have a lot going on our upper lid, I'm really going to smoke my under eye area out. And I'm also going to take a little bit more of my highlighter, and I'm going to take this and put it in my inner corner just to give a little bit more of a pop in the inner corner, and this is going to make your eye look a little bit more open and awake. And I'm also going to take that on my brow bone. Next, I'm going to pop on some mascara, and I'm going to be using my favorite mascara combo ever. So I actually use 2 mascara. Yes, I'm really high maintenance, but I've been using the Vertige Longueur mascara because this mascara has the tiniest wand, so it's really perfect to get really into the bottom of the lashes and make everything look super voluminous and intense. And after applying this for more volume, I like to go into the 360 mascara because this is a mascara with a silicone brush, and this is almost going to act kind of like a comb for the eyelashes. So this is really going to separate the lashes, give a lot more length. So I'm going to do that really quickly. So I'm going to start with my Vertige Longueur mascara, and I'm going to put this and concentrate this at the root of the lashes. And as you can see, she's a little clumpy. So that's why I like to go in with the 360 mascara and comb everything out. So for my lips, I'm going to take the automatic lip liner from Yves Rocher. This is the shade 51, and this is a really pretty like beige neutral kind of shade, and I think it's going to go quite well with this crazy purple eyeshadow. So I'm going to fill all of my lips using this lip pencil. Here we go, and to top it off, I'm going to take a gloss. This is the Liquid Balm in the shade 03. I actually have this mini size, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to pop it on top. So this is just a gloss. It looks really pink, but it's more clear than anything. It doesn't have a lot of payoff. All right, so this is the finished look. Now that I'm looking at the eyes, I feel like it might be a little bit too much, but I really wanted to test these eyeshadow out. I feel like the purple one, the matte purple one, is a little bit patchy, but you really have to make sure that you have a good base, a good eyeshadow primer, so that this is going to stick onto your eyelid and blend really beautifully. And the shimmer I actually really love. I feel like this all over the lid would look amazing for a summer look. Overall, I love everything. The only thing I'm kind of like meh is the powder, because I don't really powder my whole face, but everything was really pretty. I really loved everything. But yes, so that's pretty much it. I really hope you enjoyed my full face of Yves Rocher products. If you did, do not forget to leave a like. You can also subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos every single Mondays, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my makeup Mondays. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.